This is a recording that we are doing here on YouTube. I was not able to, and I apologize for that. Still having some trouble with my laptop, so I was not able to live stream this today on YouTube. That was my intention, so we could, get some kind of feedback. And what I'll try to do is work on getting that straight. But in the meantime, I'm here on the phone just recording this, and I'll try to place this on YouTube and some other places. This is a Black History segment. I'm Brother Jamal that we started here on YouTube channel to really kind of just do some things with our young people, with our youth about Black history, because it's important. It's important that you know some things or be familiar with some things about Black history and some of the things that have happened in that area. So we decided that we would do, I think this is like the fourth show that we did here on YouTube. And I apologize because people probably are looking for me on YouTube, the YouTube channel, which I usually go through Instagram and usually go through Facebook to send out a notification that I'm on. And I said, in this case, I apologize because I'm not live streaming it. I'm on my phone. And I have to work on getting some things situated with my phone where if I can't do it on the laptop, I do it on the phone. So just wanted to just bring you up to date on that. So in the meantime, we started off a segment talking about the early childhood of Malcolm Little. As you know, he was born Malcolm Little May 19th, 1925 in Omaha, Nebraska. He later on became Malcolm X, and after he completed his Hajj, he became El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. And so we thought we would talk about the early childhood life of Malcolm Little. And we had asked some questions last week about, we didn't get an answer, but we had asked a question about Malcolm Little coming up in Omaha, Nebraska. He was born in 1925. And you have to kind of imagine Omaha, Nebraska in the 1920s, and Malcolm being born in 1925, how that environment must have been at that particular time. And so that was kind of the question that we asked about. Actually, the question kind of extended to the area of about his father. But before I get into that, we talked about Malcolm's upbringing in Omaha, Nebraska. And we also kind of expounded a little bit about Malcolm's father. He was a pastor. Reverend Earl Little was his name. He was a black minister in Omaha, Nebraska. This is the early years of Malcolm X's life. And so one of the things that Malcolm's father was doing at that particular time, he was also working for the organization called the UNIA, Universal Negro Association, Improvement Association. That was the UNIA. And so that organization the founder was Marcus Mosey Garvey. He founded that organization. So Malcolm Malcolm's father got into working. Reverend Earl Little was working on behalf of the UNIA in Omaha, Nebraska. One of his main jobs was at that time. Once again, we're talking about the father of Malcolm Little, Reverend Earl Little. One of Malcolm's, his father, one of his jobs was he was going around talking to black people at that particular time about, self-independence, having your own business, excuse me, having your own business, growing your own food, raising your own food, just, not depending on the whites in Omaha, Nebraska, but having your own things, raising your own food, starting your own businesses, your own stores and stuff like that. And so, and this was the philosophy of Marcus Moses Garvey with the UNIA Association. That was kind of the theme of his organization. So, as time went by in Omaha, Nebraska, the whites in Omaha began to get word, or somehow they found out what Reverend Earl Little was doing. And when they found that out, they paid a visit to Malcolm's house. I don't think at the time they paid a visit. I don't think Reverend Earl Little was there. It was Malcolm's mother and some of the other kids were there at that particular time. So what happened was that as time went by, they threatened Malcolm's family, threatened his, and simply told his wife that, if you don't tell that so and so to stop doing what you're doing, then we're going to do this, this, and this, to him. And so, quite naturally, his father continued to, carry out his mission and carry out his work. He didn't stop. And so, as time went on and time went by, they eventually ended up murdering Malcolm's father in Omaha, Nebraska. This is the early years of Malcolm X's life. And so that's what they began to murder. They murdered his father, and that kind of put a damper in everything. Once they murdered Malcolm's father, his mother ended up in a mental hospital. Actually, I think she stayed there most of the entire part of Malcolm and his brothers and sisters' life. She never got out of the hospital because that actually gave her a nervous breakdown after they murdered Malcolm's father in Omaha, Nebraska. And I think they eventually got out and moved to Lansing, Michigan. Got out of there quickly out of Omaha, Nebraska. We're talking about the 1920s. Malcolm was born in 1925. So imagine, like I said, being in Omaha, Nebraska during that time. We're going to take just a brief break here and come back and finish this up.